Have a 1996 Grasshopper 928D with Kubota diesel. Starts up and runs a few minutes, then acts like it runs out of fuel and won't start back for a few minutes, then does the same cycle again. It does like a gas model does when it runs the bowl dry, then fills back up and runs until it is empty again.
Does it kill with the key? If it does, it has a fuel shutoff solenoid. This solenoid can be going bad, getting hot and dropping out, killing the fuel to the injectors. Look just to the left of the injection pump body for solenoid.
It has a solenoid. And yes, it cuts off with key. Runs about 2.5 minutes each time and starts back up after about 2.5 minutes of sitting. Those are pretty expensive to just see if that's the problem.
You can just slip it back to see if engine will run, and it can be tested. It has to have battery voltage to it as long as the key is on.
I have taken it out and plugged into harness and it doesn't move. Should be like a gas-type solenoid, shouldn't it?
Yes, but be sure you have voltage to the harness plug for it with key on.
I have voltage on harness.
So solenoid is no good.
Curtis, I hooked jump box to solenoid with hot to the white wire and ground the other two wires that are black and red, and it works.
Is this 3-wire solenoid? If it is, it has 2 coils, one for start, which gets voltage only at start, and a second that is the hold coil, which has power at all times. If it has voltage with key on, and it does not hold, bad solenoid.
Yay, 3-wire I plugged to harness and it pulls back on start but does not hold when I release.
Okay, so it has voltage but will not hold, the solenoid has to be replaced.
Curtis, I have replaced the solenoid and it does exactly the same. Only opens when placed in start position on ignition switch. Does not open when key is in on position. There is no voltage in run position on either wire.
I understood it had voltage with the key on. Trace the wires back from the solenoid, and look for relay between solenoid and key switch. Solenoid typically uses a relay to power it continuously.
I don't have a schematic, so I don't know which is the hold side of the solenoid. If I put voltage to the black wire, it retracts. The green is ground and it does nothing when I put voltage to white wire. Yes, it does. That's the hold wire. Has to be running when you add voltage, so it must be the interlock module.
So white has to be hot as long as the key is on. Trace it back to the relay.
The module has power going to it but nothing out when key on. The black is hot when turned to start on the module also. It's a possibility that one of the safety switches are not working because this is an interlock module. I just ran a wire from one of the relays to the white on the interlock module and it works great, just hope it doesn't cause a worse issue. I'll try with the deck switch and see if everything else works. This is an older mower that has been treated pretty rough and he just wants it to mow. That's his only concern right now.
Okay, thanks.
Curtis, do you know how to put the plastic bushings on the drive control arms? I have tried this before and you could barely move the arms. This one I took completely out of the unit and tried it and had to take a torch and get it very hot to get it back off of only halfway down and could not move this one at all. I know they have to be tight, but gee whiz, there has to be something you have to do to get them in there. You can drive the bushing into the sleeve, but then the shaft will not go into the sleeve without driving it in there with a sledgehammer. That's a little overkill, but mighty close.
Sorry, never had to replace one. Typical suspension parts are tight and the heat/hammer is often what it takes. Seems to be overkill to me.
Yay, they're plastic, so heat seems to be a bad choice, it melts easily. And these have to swivel with the control arms. Looks like the would have used bronze and added a grease zerk.
You would think.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.